Rome. City of Marble, the Empire of Iron, a civilization that ruled the world and shaped the one we live in. Its legions carved roads that still scar the earth. Its walls became the backbone of justice. Architects raised arches, colosseums, tamed rivers, and poets gave words to glory itself. Rome turned chaos into order, wilderness into empire, and ambition into eternity. But behind the legions, the temples, the triumphs, was something darker. An empire built on blood, betrayal, and the silent screams of those who made its glory possible. Please like and subscribe for more historical fact channel content. On this episode, we uncover the dark secrets of Rome's glory years.
What about all the slaves? Well, they conquered all these foreigners. They've sold them. Now many of them are working these plantations, big plantations owned by rich people that used to be little family farms. The slaves are obviously unhappy.
Where power had no mercy and history's greatest empire hid sins too great to forget. For every senator in a silk toga, there were 10 slaves in chains. At Rome's height, nearly half its population were enslaved. They built the roads, the monuments, the Colosseum itself. Their sweat made Rome rich. Their lives made it powerful. Captured in war, sold at auction, born into bondage, their names erased. And when one man, Spartacus, dared to rise, Rome crucified 6,000 rebels along the Appian Way. Their bodies left to rot beneath the sun as a warning. The Senate, the symbol of order and reason, was a battlefield of daggers and deceit. Here ambition was everything. Men poisoned friends, framed rivals, and called it patriotism. Julius Caesar, conqueror of Gaul, slain by those he trusted most. His death marked the end of the Republic.
Strong men. And it is a chain. So it goes, Marius, Sully, Pompey, Julius Caesar, where each one pushes the boundaries of the Roman Republic a little bit, pushes at the structures of the institutions of the Republic, and they're motivated by personal gain. They're putting themselves above the state.
And the birth of tyranny. Augustus smiled in public, silenced in private. Caligula made his horse a priest. Nero played as Rome burned. Power didn't corrupt Rome, it defined it. Rome worshipped violence. The Colosseum, the beating heart of bloodlust. 50,000 voices roared as men fought beasts, and beasts tore men apart. Executions were disguised as myths. Criminals burned alive to please the gods. The Colosseum wasn't just an arena, it was Rome's mirror, reflecting the darkness it refused to face. In the palaces of Rome, death came not with a sword, but a smile. Poison became the silent weapon of the elite. Livia Drusilla shaped the imperial bloodline with whispers and wine. Emperors lived surrounded by luxury and died terrified of their food. Trust no one. Sleep with a dagger. Taste nothing first. Because in Rome, power didn't protect you. It painted a target on your back. Beneath the marble towers lived the forgotten. The poor, the sick, the invisible. They crowded in wooden tenements, the insulae, where one spark could burn hundreds alive. When faith offered hope, it was outlawed. Early Christians were torn apart for refusing to bow. History remembers the emperors, but it was the slaves, workers, and nameless millions who built the empire, their blood, the true foundation of Rome. Rome thought itself eternal, but empires don't fall in a day. They rot from within.
And the next 100-year period from 133 to 31 BC is called the Late Roman Republic, and it's a time of nearly constant internal strife, ultimately culminating in multiple rounds of civil war. So Roman society literally breaks apart, turns on itself,
Greed hollowed the Senate. Corruption drained the treasury. A generation raised on luxury forgot how to fight. By the time the barbarians came, Rome was already broken. Its people numb. Its gods silent. The empire that conquered the world couldn't conquer itself. Rome was built on conquest, and conquest made Rome rich. But when the world was conquered, there was no more wealth left to take. The empire's hunger for war had drained its gold. Armies demanded pay.
So a dictator in populist clothing.
Yes.
But he gets...
When convenient. Other times he'll play to the aristocracy.
And when he gets assassinated, another civil war explodes.
That's an interesting moment.
Senators demanded luxury, and the people, crushed by taxes, had nothing left to give. To feed its own machine, Rome began to cheat itself. Silver coins were melted down, mixed with cheaper metals. Soon the denarius, once pure and strong, was barely worth its metal stamped on. Inflation exploded. Bread prices soared. Farmers abandoned their land. The markets that once buzzed with trade fell silent. Even emperors could not escape the weight of their own debts. To fund his building projects, Nero emptied the treasury, then seized the wealth of his enemies to fill it again. Others simply raised taxes until the poor became slaves to the very system that claimed to protect them. As the empire expanded, its costs multiplied, but its profits shrank. Every new province meant more roads to maintain, more armies to feed, more enemies to fight. By the 3rd century, Rome's economy was a corpse wearing a crown. The coin was worthless. Trade had withered, and even the legions, once the pride of the empire, sold their swords to the highest bidder. Gold once symbolized Rome's strength. Now it became the chain that dragged it down. The empire that had conquered wealth itself was finally destroyed by its own greed. Rome's glory was real, but so was its darkness. Every triumph carried a price, every monument a secret. And maybe that's the greatest lesson of all. Every empire believes it will last forever until the cracks begin to show.